In this job, I get to meet and experience some epic talent and artistry. But this next guest really takes the cake, and I do mean that literally. Renowned cake artist Natalie Sideserf has garnered millions of followers with millions of views of her hyper-realistic cakes. I mean, these things are incredible. Like, look at that. That's so crazy. From animals to celebs to everyday items that she sculpts and paints. And before she can make that cut, you get to guess if it's real or if it's cake. Well, Natalie, I have to say that watching your creations and looking at your cakes, I think your talent would make any 18th century realist painter so proud. I mean, this is crazy art.
You know what, I love that you say that, because that started out as my inspiration, was like traditional fine artists, like still life paintings and sculptures, and how can I make cake versions of that? So you're on the nose with that.
I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, you've knocked it out of the park. How did you get started doing this?
I was an art major in college. I went to Ohio State, and after I graduated, I did some sculpting and painting.
Mm-hmm.
I was mostly painting, but after I graduated, a friend of mine asked me to make a sculpted cake. This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was about 2010 or so.
Wow.
But so she was like, "Can you make one of these?" And I was like, "Well, I can give it a try." I made a cow skull for never having no experience doing it. I thought it looked all right, but I was like, I wonder if you could make this more like realistic. Like, can I make this like extremely realistic to where it could like potentially trick people? So that was kind of how it all started.
Ah, okay, I see. Because you were like, really, I'm going to do study in still life, and you like this.
Yeah.
Is there ever like a piece you do and you're like, I don't want to cut into it? Like, does that ever happen?
You would think, but actually it's my favorite part. Like,
really?
I love saying like, this is the end of it. I made it as good as I can in my tiny time frame, because you only have a few days. It's cake, but
yeah.
I did the best I could. And one of my favorite things is just like destroying it.
Okay, it's amazing. So I have to ask, speaking of which, you created a cake of yourself. You did I guess a self-portrait, if you will, in the cake version. Okay, did that freak you out when you were cutting into that? Because that would be a little weird for me.
Honestly, that was one of my more fun cakes to cut, because I was like, this is too weird. Like, it's funny because people see it and they're like, that is a very strange cake. And I'm like, oh, it was weird for me too. It was funny to interact with something that looks like yourself and is edible.
I can't even imagine. What is your favorite cake you've ever created?
There's so many cakes that I really enjoyed making. One of them that I'll always appreciate was a cake that I made of an onion. And I know that sounds goofy. It's just an onion, but I was able to make like the onion skin look so realistic, but it was edible, but people thought that I used real onion skin. And so it's just one of those things where it really hit me. I was like, oh, this is a cool one. And because it's a bit of an older cake, but it was one of those like, got me really passionate. I was excited.
It inspired you to continue and to work harder. And I think that's so important in any artistic venture. For me, it was the garlic clove.
Yeah, I love that one too.
That's incredible. When we were talking about the cake that you made of yourself, I would think that making faces is so hard because we know them, especially celebrities like Willie Nelson. I mean, there was wrinkles, there was all the details. I mean, how hard was that?
Basically, anytime I'm trying to make a cake look like a human, it's really, really difficult, but especially if it's somebody that everybody knows. Yeah, getting all the proportions right, and the color is really difficult too, because I'm using food color. So sometimes it leans like it'll be a little too pink or a little too yellow, and trying to capture that is definitely difficult. So I would say bust cakes and human cakes are my most difficult cakes to make, for sure.
What are some 2024 projects you have in store?
I'm having so much fun with my YouTube channel at this point, because it's grown a lot over the past just couple years, and especially more recently. I'm just really passionate about the idea of like coming up with ideas that people really like enjoy. Like, that's always been my goal. And I love the idea that, I get so many people who are like, oh, I'm a dad and I watch your YouTube video every night with my daughter. And it's just this really sweet thing where I'm like very connected to it. And I'm like, I want to be able to like really reach out to people, make things that they like. So that's like a huge goal.
I love that. What do you think it is about the hyper realistic cakes that have grabbed our attention?
You know, I think anytime you see realistic art, even if it's a hyper-realistic or photorealistic painting, which was my inspiration to begin with, was hyper-realistic artists, fine artists, and kind of bringing that into the cake world. I think that it's just the skill needed to make that work you have to be dedicated. It's really difficult. And it's got that illusion aspect where it's like, what am I looking at? Is this actually an apple? Is it no, it's a cake. Like, how is that possible? So that's also what's great about the YouTube channel is I show you how the cakes are made. So when you see the finished product, that's one thing. But when you can actually watch me make it, it's like, wow, okay, that's how you do it. Like, it's not impossible.
Yeah, I mean, it might not be possible for me, but I love to watch her work. I mean, just incredible. And I have to warn you, though, those YouTube videos will suck you right in. But we have our own cake maker right here. Producer Susie has tried her hand at realistic or fantastic cakes. Maybe not hyper real.
Not hyper real,
but super fun. So, okay, let's start with the McDonald's fries cake.
Yeah, so I made this for
fabulous.
Heidi Eng, and so she just loves McDonald's French fries. So I think it looked better from far away. But this was
okay, that's fine.
And the fries were cake, and that was the hardest part.
Cake.
And then I covered it with real French fries in the bottom when we presented it to her.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, so that was fun. That was really fun. Okay.
Derek's beer cake. This is great.
Derek's beer cake. He only wishes he had a stein of beer that large. It was 7 layers, and I remember trying to make all the foam.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
It was really fun.
And then this one I think is my favorite.
Okay.
The mayo cake. When you said this, I thought you were gonna just do a sheet cake, but that is a mayo cake.
Okay, it got away from me, so my inspiration was the huge things of mayo at Costco. Yeah. And also we should say that Rebecca hates mayonnaise.
She hates mayonnaise.
Yes. So I was galvanized with that spirit. So I used a real lid that helped. Yeah. And then I took off the label.
So you didn't like make the label out of like rice paper.
No.
But that's okay. It's amazing.
Yeah,
I applaud you.
It was a lot of fun.
I applaud you for creating that.
It was fun, but
Keep
I mean,
on creating.
Natalie's talent, it's just amazing.
No, that's beyond.
Absolutely.
I mean, your talent is beyond for me.
You.
I mean, I'm not even going to try that. All right.